Hey everyone, let's take a quick second. Just take a slow, deep breath with me. In today's explainer, we're talking about something super important, but honestly, pretty sensitive. We spend so much time optimizing our schedules, our workflows, checking off our endless to-do lists, but how often do we actually stop to check in on our own internal state? Today, we're going to look at how to do a proper mental health check-in, but we're going to use a pretty surprising modern tool to do it. So get comfortable and let's explore this together. Now, I want to speak directly to something that a lot of us go through completely in silence. Most people don't actually realize they're overwhelmed, right? We humans have this wild capacity to just put our heads down and push through. We tell ourselves, oh, it's just a busy week, or I just got to make it to Friday. We literally normalize carrying this giant, heavy load. We just adapt to the tension in our shoulders, snapping a bit faster at our friends or family, or that low-level anxiety just kind of humming in the background of our minds. We miss the subtle signs that our mental bandwidth is stretched completely to its absolute limit, until they completely burn out. Let's just pause here for a moment and let the gravity of that statement sink in. Burnout isn't just, feeling a little tired. It is a full-on systemic shutdown of your physical and emotional reserves. When you hit that tipping point, your brain and your body simply refuse to keep going. And the scariest part, it feels like it happens suddenly, like someone just flipped a switch. One day you're functioning, and the next, you literally cannot get out of bed or even look at a screen. But the truth is, that crash wasn't sudden at all. The foundation had been cracking for a very, very long time. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what's happening. Mental health usually declines quietly. Stress just builds slowly over time. It starts with days, skipping a few lunches, tossing and turning at night. Then that bleeds into weeks of just being irritable and your overall baseline mood taking a nosedive. Before you know it, it's been months of chronic exhaustion, and you're basically operating in this continuous state of low-grade panic. Because this progression happens so gradually, it's like the water slowly boiling around us goes totally unnoticed. And that leads inevitably to that final stage, burnout. So this brings up a really fascinating contrast. As humans, we have massive blind spots. Since we live in our own heads 24/7, we are incredibly poor judges of our own gradual decline. We naturally miss that slow buildup of stress. But artificial intelligence? Well, AI excels at pattern recognition. It doesn't have an ego. It doesn't sit there and tell itself, I just need to push a little harder. It simply looks at the data and spots objective patterns. So we can actually leverage AI as a subjective, supportive tool to recognize our stress triggers way, way before they evolve into full-blown burnout. Okay, let's dive into this. Here are 4 practical steps you can take to build a solid barrier between you and burnout. It's a clear framework. Journaling your thoughts, asking AI for help, generating some tailored strategies, and then doing regular emotional check-ins. Let's actually break down how this works in real life. Step 1, journal your thoughts consistently. Now hold on, this isn't about writing beautifully crafted poetic diary entries. Think of it more like data collection. You are just gathering the essential, raw, unstructured material for your AI. It could be a quick voice memo on your commute home or just some messy bullet points in your phone's notes app. Just capture what frustrated you today or what really drained your energy. By doing this regularly, you're building a highly localized data set of your own internal emotional landscape. All right, once you've got a couple of weeks of consistent entries, step 2 is to feed that raw text into a secure, private AI tool and ask it to identify your recurring stress triggers. You can literally just use a prompt like, what underlying themes of stress are present here? Or what specific situations seem to drain my energy the most? And since the AI is acting as an objective observer, it's going to spot patterns you completely missed. Like maybe a specific client always spikes your anxiety, or your mood consistently tanks every Thursday afternoon. It acts like a mirror, reflecting your own blind spots right back to you. But we don't just stop at identifying the problem, we take action. So the crucial point is step 3, generating healthy coping strategies. You prompt the AI again and say, okay, now that we know Thursday afternoons are a huge trigger for my anxiety, give me 3 brief, actionable coping mechanisms I can use during my lunch break to mitigate this. And just like that, the AI can give you customized, totally practical exercises. We're talking specific breathing techniques, maybe some boundary setting scripts for work, or a quick mindfulness routine tailored exactly to the stressors it just helped you identify. And finally, we reach step 4, create regular emotional check-ins. This is where we close the loop and turn this whole exercise into a steady, protective routine. You take the insights and the strategies you've developed, and you schedule them. Maybe every Sunday evening you spend, 10 minutes reviewing your week's data with your AI tool, adjusting your game plan for the week ahead.
By establishing this proactive monitoring system, you are continuously checking your emotional dashboard. You're catching those minor engine lights blinking well before the whole car breaks down on the side of the highway. You are literally intercepting stress before it ever has a chance to escalate into burnout.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the profound shift it represents in how we live. On the left, we have emotional autopilot reacting passively to our environment, letting stress accumulate invisibly, and letting our subconscious habits steer the ship right into the rocks. But on the right, we achieve a state of heightened awareness. You aren't flying blind anymore. You know exactly what your triggers are, you have a plan to handle them, and you are actively participating in your own mental well-being. I want to leave you with this final, vital question to reflect on today. Are you driving your mind, or is autopilot driving you? Take a real moment to think about that. When the pressures of the day mount, are you consciously choosing how you respond, equipped with the awareness of your own patterns? Or are you simply reacting, letting that slow build of unmonitored stress push you ever closer to the edge? You've got the tools now, and you have the ability to reclaim the steering wheel. It all just starts with that first, honest check-in. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this structured approach gives you a practical, meaningful way to protect your peace and monitor your mental health. Because taking care of yourself is honestly the most important work you will ever do. Now, if you found this fascinating, we're going to keep exploring how AI can support our personal well-being. Next time, we'll be diving into the concept of your AI nutritionist, exploring how these tools can actually help us optimize our physical health through personalized dietary patterns. Please follow along so you don't miss it. Until next time, take care, be well, and keep learning.